Good evening. This side Rahul Magan here is a Group Chief Executive Officer, Treasury Consulting, and also a venture capitalist. As we speak, Treasury Consulting Group is a multinational headquartered group based out India, Singapore, and Hong Kong. More importantly, we do have offices in three parts of the globe. Unlike the big firms like Ola, Uber, Swiggy, Zomato, Lenskart, Paytm, Myntra, Jabong, Flipkart, Delivery, we are not unicorn. But unlike them, we are profitable and not backed up by any venture capitalist. That is more important thing. Company operates our own proprietary hedge fund, our commodities platform, and many more products. We do operate our learnings platform, Sheetal Academy, and also our OTT platform, which is TRFX Academy. Apart from that, we do hold many other products. If you wish to have any information, you can definitely WhatsApp or my personal number, which is +91 9899 242 978. Alternatively, you can WhatsApp on our back office, which is +91 9818 485 155. In English, there is a word called abreast of. Now, abreast of means you should be updated. Now, there are various definitions of updated for various people. Example, for army people, the updation means they should aware about latest weapons, latest artillery, the different things which are happening in the world of defense, and so on and so forth. For cricketers, they should be aware about the temperature, the pitch report, some flip side of the opposition team, maybe the weakness of the opposition captain, and so on and so forth. For athletes, they should be aware about the environment, the temperature, their physique, their diet plans, and so on and so forth. For a regulator, he should be aware about what all which is happening outside the world. Example, I'm using this red pen, somebody is using the green pen, somebody is using the yellow pen, somebody is using the ball pen. So just example. But unfortunately, what is happening that the dictionary or the lexical meaning of abreast of is completely misused. In fact, people sitting at the higher designation as a regulator in India, their knowledge is too pathetic that even a 10th fail person can beat them. I think so. And I'm saying in an open forum, rather, I told this many times on YouTube, like Indian newspaper Financial Express dated 16th September 2021, page number 3. I repeat, Indian newspaper Financial Express dated 16th September 2021, page number 3. A large number of high value bank frauds took place due to disregard of systems and procedures in lending as well as in general operations, the Central Vigilance Commission has observed. In view of this, the Commission has advised Chief Vigilance Officer who act its distance arm to check corruption to give priority to the prevention of fraud at every level through the use of technology and discreet inquiries and so on and so forth. Treasury Consulting dealt with many public sector concerns. I personally met with many chief vigilance officers of many public sector enterprises. Rather, we gave trainings to many public sector concerns, and I know many chief vigilance officers personally in many public sector companies. The level of knowledge they possess reflects, I have no words to them. When the Choksi scandal happened few years ago, I immediately came in public domain and said that Choksi scandal can be resolved within 40 minutes. You heard me right, which is 40 minutes. Many people laughed as usual. It is like few years ago when I came in public domain and said that the World Bank ease of doing business report is incorrect. People laughed. And today, after 3 years, World Bank himself acknowledged there are frauds happening in doing business report. Rather, not only acknowledging, they are now discontinuing the ease of doing business report. So what is the validity of these reports when you can discontinue at any given point of time? When in 2018 I came in public domain and talked about SoftBank and its so-called valuation, people laughed. But today everyone is aware that whether this is Ola, Uber, Swiggy, Zomato, Lenskart, Paytm, Jabong, Myntra, Delivery, Flipkart, you name, if I missed any, they are in deep losses. And irrespective of that, they are gaining traction. Like take an example of BharatPay. In 2020, they earned 5 crore, near about 6 crores, and they spent around 230 crore rupees, and still they considered at $3 billion company. Even Einstein cannot agree to the fact that a company who merely earns 6 crores, spending 230 crores, can be valued at, I would say $3 billion. Take an example, very latest example is the Car Dekho, the so-called unicorn. Car Dekho, according to the public information, is shutting 1/3 of the stores. Either the shutdown is done or it is in process. It's a public information. 1/3 of the stores, but still it is a unicorn. We all know how these systems are actually working. So one thing which we really need to understand that if your knowledge is better than the people, they are bound to laugh. Now, Central Vigilance Commission needs to understand this very clearly that the world moved to swift audit. What are we doing? Paperwork. Now, let's take a simplistic example. There is a company called Ramlal Chole Bhature, my favorite company. I again repeat it. By coincidence, this company exists. It's a mere coincidence because generally I choose name the company who never exists. Now Ramlal Chole Bhature. Ramlal Chole Bhature is taking a loan from SBI, 5,000 crores. And Ramlal Chole Bhature is having a clear intention that they are going to be siphoning off this money. Since they have a clear intention of siphoning off this money, they would be routing this money to their offshore entities. I don't need to tell you how to create offshore entities. And by the way, Singapore is also a tax haven. If you're thinking Singapore is not a tax haven, you can route to Singapore, you can route to Mauritius, Malaysia, Caribbean islands, British Virgin Islands, and so on and so forth. You can route there. And after a few years, you came to bank and say, guys, I'm in losses. I thought of starting a Chola Bhatura business, but that went completely tragic and I lost the whole 5,000 crores. Now I'm in loss. I cannot pay the money. State Bank of India will conduct a forensic audit. We know how efficiently forensic audit conduct in India. I myself is a trainer in forensic audit and I know the level of knowledge of the people, those who are taking the training. So please don't tell me how forensic audit are conducted in India. Now, irrespective of this process, State Bank of India will say, hey guys, this is 5,000 crores you asked for. Just do one thing. As and when you would be using the money, so first of all, State Bank will never give the funding. That is the first flaw we have in Indian banks. Indian bank will give the funding. They never give the credit lines. I know 99% people do not understand that. So let me choose another pen. This is another pen. This is funding, cash. This is credit line. So bank will say, guys, I'm not giving you funding. This is credit line, which means out of 5,000 crores, when you need 50 crores, assuming you are setting up a Chola Bhatura shop in Delhi, Mumbai, Calcutta, you take the funding from the credit line. So take this credit line. It is like your credit card in a very simplistic tone, not complete credit card, simplistic tone. So this is how you take that. Okay. Now when Ramlal Cholapatura apply for 50 crore funding from 5,000 crore, which precisely means 1/100th of the total funding. So what would happen? They need to share the SWIFT copy to SBI. Now what the hell is SWIFT copy? Now isn't not only they need to share, SBI will tally this SWIFT copy, which means when the funding will move from SBI to Ramlal Cholapatura, assuming the Ramlal Cholapatura bank is JP Morgan Chase, SBI will track that this 50 crore actually went to JP Morgan using SWIFT. There are 9 classes in SWIFT, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I'm talking about 5th category, which is treasury category. Now, after that, Ramlal Cholapatura will transfer these 50 crores to the vendors, those who making the Cholapatura shop, constructor, architect, food processor, and so. Every transfer SBI Ramlal Cholapatura will do is only in the bank, and the SWIFT copy needs to be submitted. SBI will track this SWIFT copy. Now, there is a very holistic process. I cannot explain all. Now, if Ramlal Cholapatura will try to transfer money to SBI, Singapore, they need to submit the SWIFT copy, which is not the case now. There is no need to submit the SWIFT copy. Rather, SBI himself do not know what the hell is SWIFT copy. Let me confirm you. Now, what would happen if Ramlal Cholapatura will transfer 40 crores, say out of 50, what they got? 50 crores out of 50, 40 crores they transfer to Singapore. The SWIFT copy will send as a red flag to SBI. Hey, wait. Ramlal Cholapatura is an Indian company. What the hell you transferring 40 crores to Singapore? You are supposed to set your shop here in India. Then why are you transferring to Singapore? Tell me. This can put a tap on the frauds, and trust me, this system can reduce Indian NPA to almost zero. And this is called SWIFT audit. I give you a very simplistic example. There are 9 classes of SWIFT. The unfortunate part is that India never thought about the SWIFT audit. And after reading these kind of articles, like let me read another intelligent paragraph for you. The chairman and managing director and the CVO, means Chief Vigilance Officer, made presentation to the commission bringing out the status of vigilance cases, progress made in them, preventive vigilant measures undertaken by the banks, initiatives taken to strengthen the whistleblower mechanism, activities undertaken during the observation of the Vigilance Awareness Week. I was speaker to many public sector concerns during Vigilance Awareness Week, and the use of technology in the banking operations, and among other. Did you anywhere just open in a website of any of the bank and just check the SWIFT audit? Guys, I'm telling you, the biggest issue in the India is that the people who sit at top as a regulator, their knowledge is worse than the 10th fail person. And because of this, they frame the guidelines which are not only poorer but also pathetic. Now, what happens when the poorer as well as pathetic guidelines are done? Then the people would be following these guidelines. When the people would be following these guidelines, what would happen? The end result would be pathetic. And this is what the moral of the story is. We always talk about non-performing asset. We always talk about vigilant measures and so on and so forth. But as a country, we never talk about the SWIFT audits. Rather, you would be surprised to know that Institute of Chartered Accountant of India, Institute of Company Secretary of India, Institute of Cost Accountant of India, and I being the trainer for all three of them, let it be honest, all three of them. And I know the president of Institute of Chartered Accountant of India personally. And I know, don't ask me about his personality, let it be open. I know how much knowledgeable they are. Do you know that in the meetings by Institute of Chartered Accountant of India, faculties were invited. Like when I was there, I used to, give training to them. We were invited. The president or the committee chairman take a notepad. He just take the points of the various faculties. He never give his feedback because he do not know the subject. The committee chairmen are all appointed based on the proximity with the president of the institute. Have you ever seen ICAI, Institute of Chartered Accountant of India president, speaking publicly on SWIFT audit, publicly on the banking instruments like SBLC, DPLC, bank guarantee on, publicly speaking about the foreign exchange procedures, publicly speaking about startup valuation, publicly speaking about the taxation on the startup, and more important, the ESOP of startup? Have you ever seen ICI chairman coming publicly and talking about these burning issues and taking the Q&As? You will never see. Do you have a single presentation by any ICAI president where he touched upon the SWIFT audit, where he touched upon the foreign exchange market, the practical structured finance, LIBOR transition? Guys, just check the LIBOR transition. JP Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, Citi, Standard Chartered, UBS, Barclays, Deutsche, almost every big bank of the world, they have their LIBOR transition workouts. That's a separate thing. They never put in the public, and this is right also. They should not put in public because this is a very confidential work, very high brain is already put in public, very, very expensive work. So why to put on the Google? I agree. But it is in place. Have you ever seen Institute of Chartered Accountant of India, Institute of Company Secretary of India, Institute of Cost Accountant of India, they ever come in public and talk about LIBOR transition? Rather, Reserve Bank of India circular on the LIBOR transition on their website is pathetic. So guys, we are living in a world, especially living in a country when the people, those who are sitting at the top, let it be honest, they are very clear and their knowledge is completely pathetic. They make pathetic guidelines. Because remember the word by Zuckerberg, Facebook founder, if you offer peanuts, you get monkeys. JP Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, Citi, they pay extensible to their bankers. And what all we paying to these people? That's another important thing. What all we paying to these people? So what we pay, we get equivalent talent. That's very important. Because if you're expecting a president who knew SWIFT audits, who knew foreign exchange, who knew, the LIBOR transition, who knew about the startup ESOP, who knew about startup valuation, you need to have an expert. And of course, if you need to have an expert, he would charge for this extensively. So example, senior corporate lawyers, XYZ, whatever their names are, They charge extensible compared to the junior corporate lawyers because of their experience and talent. Now, when you get similar kind of articles like Central Vigilance Commission, you know, you know, Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI, Reserve Bank of India, and all these people, you always feel like, guys, we are in 2021. In fact, 3 months away from 2022. And the document which you are putting in the public is 1852. And you are expecting an 1852 document would help the same way 2022 document would help. Just think about that. Just to conclude that, if we make Swift audit mandatory in India, which these big four firms never do, EY, KPMG, Deloitte, and PwC never do. Have you ever seen a single document by EY, KPMG, Deloitte, and PwC wherein they're talking about their perspective on Swift audits? Have you ever seen? If you make Swift audit mandatory, which these big four firms never do, I'm telling you, majority of the issues in India will resolve overnight. Do you know who is a transaction advisor in case of Air India? Do you know who is a transaction advisor to Yes Bank in setting up asset reconstruction company? Do you know who did the scandal in the Wirecard in Germany, which is around 1.9 billion US dollars? Do you know that? Irrespective of that, this big four is getting the business in India. Now, what does that mean? It clearly reflects that whatever I do outside India, whatever frauds I did within India, it doesn't make sense. My business is guaranteed. And when my business is guaranteed, it clearly means that the level of innovation is zero. And the buck passed to the kids also, the young guns also, to whom I refer as young guns. They also don't want to learn the Swift audit. Foreign exchange, structured finance. They're just mugging the same textbook year after year after year after year, irrespective of knowing that more than 50% of the Indian graduates are sitting at home without any work. This is Rahul from Treasury Consulting Group. You know my personal number +91 9899 242 978.